Revenge films.
I live with my husband, Jason, but his mother, Karen, is so insistent on living with us. We always argue in circles, and it wasn't as easy as she tried to make it sound. Until one day, Jason and I were called over to his parents' house. The moment we arrived, sit, right there. Karen was already prepared to scold us. You guys better give me an answer today! What the hell is she talking about? Every time you text message me, call me, or show up at our house, I told you straight up that we can't do it. I didn't understand how the whole thing was still even in question. As usual, she started off about what it meant to be a good wife and get married and so on. Tell me exactly why you guys don't want to live with us. So I told her. First, why don't you tell me why you hate me so much, Karen? What? I've never hated you, Christina. But you always nag at me. You tell me how I'm doing the laundry wrong, cooking wrong, and how my attitude is bad. It sure seems like you have a problem with every single thing I do. It was your neighbors who mentioned the laundry. Even your attitude, I hear about it from people around you. It's not my opinion. Alright then, I'll tell my neighbors to stop peeking into how I do laundry then. That's pretty creepy. You see? That's how you cause friction with your neighbors. That's why they have all these problems with your attitude. I think the people who are peeking into people's houses are the ones looking for friction. They all say how you are so disrespectful for rejecting me, and how you're always so disrespectful to the elderly. They all feel so bad for me. Who is everyone? You mean Mrs. Turner? Mrs. O'Donnell? What about Mrs. Fisher? Mrs. Peterson and Mrs. Williams all live separately from their children too, don't they? None of them do. And besides, if I'm such a nuisance, why would they all want to live near me? They can all do their own thing. I'm talking about us, okay? Stop acting like a child. Besides, why are they all your friends all of a sudden? You always try to tell me all the terrible things that they do. Ugh, you're such a brat. You need to learn how to speak to me. It's so annoying. So, I am annoying? No, the neighbors always say that you have a bad mouth, so it's embarrassing. Karen kept ranting for a while. She went on and finally calmed down a bit after she let it all out. Well, what about you then? This is a good time to share our feelings, right? Your turn. Sweet. I've been waiting for this moment for 2 years. Okay, if you say so. First of all, you think you're allowed to do anything to me, don't you, Karen? Huh? What are you talking about? Well, why else would you sneak into my backyard and steal the flowers that I take care of? What's wrong with a couple of flowers? And you always ask for things. Accessories, my humidifier, cosmetics? You should be buying those things yourself. Oh, and by the way, why don't you give me back the things that you took from the house without my permission? Also, you're always so nosy. It's wrong to go into other people's houses and open up drawers without permission, don't you think? You need to get it into your head that we live separately for a reason. Jason's father was staring at his wife in disbelief. Also, I hate how you always try to say how hard Jason works and say that I'm lazy. You scold me about how Jason is working his ass off while all you do is nap on the sofa. No, I don't. I never take a nap. And after I've told you so many times that I don't want to live with you, you try to tell us that it's the eldest son's responsibility to take care of his parents, right? Yeah, well, it's true. Jason is our eldest son. What's wrong with that? You're a hypocrite. Your husband is the eldest son in his family too, but you turned down your own mother-in-law, didn't you? You little brat! How dare you speak to your parents like that? And whenever there's something you want to say, or you're mad about, or when you want to insult me, you always try to make it sound like everyone else is saying those things. I hate that about you. If you have something to say, you might as well just say it in your own words. But the way you do it is so sneaky and annoying. I can't deal with all that. I let it all out. No one in that room expected me to come into this conversation so prepared and well-rehearsed. After being so straightforward about it, all they could do was sit there in silence. Karen was just awestruck.
Hey, take it easy now.
Jason tried to calm me, but... Well, you never did anything for me either, Jason. How many times did I have to talk to you about your mother? Did you ever just say a word to her? No. All you did is nod your head and say, next time, and always avoid confrontation.
Well...
So, who's gonna stand up for me if I don't stand up for myself? This is your mother, Jason. If my parents treated you like that, I'd never forgive them. I'd fight to the death for you, but you never stood up for me. Am I that insignificant to you? My words or my energy must have hit him pretty hard. Jason just kind of shrank down.
Sorry.
That's all he could squeeze out. Karen was red and shaking with anger as her eyes watered up. It was getting pretty awkward there. Well, you get my point. I'm not living with you. I'd rather get divorced than live with you. I'll leave it at that. I got up and left. After getting home, I loosened up and everything kind of exploded, and unknown tears just overflowed from my eyes. I'm glad I didn't explode at Jason's parents' house. I felt much better after getting everything off my chest, but at the same time, I was feeling awkward about my future encounters with my mother-in-law. Jason came home shortly after.
I didn't know how fed up you were. I'm sorry.
I mentioned my own parents, but my mother loved Jason and took great care of him. Even when we would argue, my mother would often be on Jason's side. It had never heard her talk badly about Jason, which added to my frustration. I told Jason about it, and he sympathized and told me that he regretted how poorly he dealt with the situation. He finally understood how unfairly I was being treated this whole time.
I'm really sorry. You can count on me to deal with my mother from now on. And we don't have to ever see my parents again if you don't want. And of course, they won't be living with us. You can be sure about that.
After finally seeing Jason understood along with the relief of being free from Karen for good, I cried again. Jason explained to me that he knew that Karen was bugging me about letting her move in with us. But he never thought that I was actually against it. I didn't tell Jason this, but I think I know Karen's true motives. Firstly, Karen had been complaining about her back recently, so I think she wants someone to do housework for her. The reason why she was annoying me about how I do laundry was probably because she wanted me to wash her clothes her way. Another reason was financial. I think this is the main reason. I work from home and make a stable income. You guys don't even have children. Stop sitting on your ass at home and go out and work. When Karen mentioned that before, I explained to her what I did and even showed her my bank statements as proof. Even if I did have a child, I could still work from home, so it wouldn't affect my income that much. Jason made a fair amount of money as well, so Karen knows that we're well off on money. She mentioned in the past, if you guys have extra money, normally you'd offer to help your in-laws. But she was always so mean to me and never did anything to deserve it. So I made up excuses to refuse to help her out financially. But it was around then that Karen started to insist that she wanted to live with us. I'm sure all she wanted was a servant to do her chores and have a good excuse to ask us for some allowance. It would have been a good deal for her. But after that incident, all talks about living together completely ended. Karen was scolded by her husband as well. She was told that everyone in the same position wouldn't want to live with her. On top of that, Jason yelled at her for me too, and Karen stopped bugging me completely. I had a lot built up until that day and had played that situation in my mind many times, but I'm glad that everything turned out as I planned.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.